Hello everybody and welcome back to Pravus Gaming and more Plague Inc. Evolved custom scenarios. No, not the official scenarios, even though Mutation 15 has been released and now these things have been added into the game. Awesome. But I have spent the last 4 hours trying to figure out a Mega Brutal strategy for mad cow disease, and it is borderline impossible, I say. Can't even imagine how you would get 3 stars on it. It's freaking ridiculous. There's a trick to it, but I haven't figured it out yet. And I am exhausted of trying. So we're going to go to the custom scenarios. I'll just take a bit more time and figure it out. Eventually I'll get it, but for now, I can only handle so much disappointment. Alright, let's try out Cassandra, Neurax versus Bioweapon. I'm very curious what this means. Sometimes, in order to conquer the world, you have to save it first. Armed with cunning, foresight, and the ability to manipulate human thought, it's up to the most unlikely of heroes to protect humanity from its own deadliest creation. It's Neurax versus Bioweapon in a fight for the fate of humanity. Zombies have Z-Com and vampires have Templars, but the Neurax worm has always had it easy. This scenario will change all that. Ooh. You have about a year to prepare. Use it, because once the bioweapon shows up, it hits hard. Fortunately, you have many tools to assist you. Most of the symptoms are left unchanged. Don't be fooled. This is an event-based scenario. Okay, so that's what's going to be unique about it. Let's give it a shot. I am verily curious. Neurax worm, as was promised. ATP boost, Darwinized, Terracite, Extremophile, and Symptostasis all seem pretty good on normal difficulty. It is called Loxius, or however you say that, I have no idea. Welcome to Project Cassandra. You are a new Neurax worm. Your objective is to obtain godhood by infecting and controlling the mind of every human on Earth. But there may be other pathogens out there with goals on their own. Select a country. We'll start off in Saudi Arabia. Seems fine. This is a really cool idea, isn't it? So you actually have, it's almost like taking the multiplayer scene in Plague Inc. and kind of applying it to a single-player scenario. Very clever. Helen, this is Sandy. You'll never believe what I just found. Eggs! In the Temple of Loxius, right where I said they would be. And incredibly well preserved, too. Possibly even enough for DNA analysis. Look, just meet me in Saudi Arabia. I tell you, this is gonna be our big break. Well, famous last words for the wannabe Indiana Jones. Alright, transmissions. Looks like the normal stuff. We have about a year to prepare, they said. Okay. We'll go for the eggs, concertina, locomotion. That stuff is pretty standard for an opening. Excuse me. As far as symptoms, neural breach, we'll go ahead and grab a level of that, and cerebral tendrils, but I'll hold off on the rest until we've gotten a bit more DNA. Want to go for that air travel as quick as I can. Styx Biotech, acquiring new assets. Oh no, Styx is going to develop a bioweapon. Excuse me. Seriously, I've been trying to record that dang thing for hours, my voice is just shot. Styx Biotech, a Fortune 500 company centered in Australia, has announced their intent to acquire assets in 3 new locations. CEO Alpheus Jackson tells investors that the decision is a step forward in spreading the company's influence across the world. Ugh, multinational conglomerates. I'm just saying, I get on my nerves. And sometimes they kill the planet. The Secret of the Oracles by Cassandra Troy. Now, there are many telling similarities between ancient religions, including special headwear for priests, and the practice of immersion or baptism in holy water. But nowhere is the evidence more clear than the cult of Loxius. That's what Cassandra Troy sounds like. I assume Cassandra is supposed to be a female voice. That's what makes it even funnier. Alright, let's go for transmission. We're going to grab ourselves some extra air. Tensions are rising in Canada. Man, there are a lot of events, aren't there? Civil unrest in Canada is on the rise, but they're so nice and accommodating. A small group of revolutionaries calling themselves Children of Eris, who, by the way, I believe was the Greek minor god of discord, yes? Have begun to rise up against the current government. While the protests have yet to turn violent, experts worry that it will only grow. Canada? Of all places, the Children of Discord in Canada? No. It's not even possible. I refuse to believe it for a second. Alright, symptoms, no. Abilities could go for some stuff. What's this? Hodophobia. Hosts become less inclined to travel abroad. Reduces land, sea, and air transmission. Why? Is that because they'll travel into the bioweapon's waiting arms and die? Antibody. Produces antibodies to defend against other pathogens. Sounds really important. Wait, reduces infectivity. Holy crap, this is going to be a thing where you have to, like, increase your infectivity and spread across the world, and then reduce your own infectivity down to nothing, right? Cerebral bore, worms, and seek out natural crevices and folds in brain tissue to hide in. Slightly decreasing infectivity, but allowing them to hide more effectively from scans. Fascinating. I'm going to go for the genetic swap so we can get some more mutation. That usually is pretty good. It's hardly even solid evidence. Miss Troy, while your Neurax worm theory of ancient religions is certainly interesting, a cluster of prawn eggs in a temple is hardly what I would call proof. We'll take them in for identification, but I wouldn't bet my career on it. It's like a Daniel Jackson from Stargate, trying to make sure that the alien stuff makes sense. I don't know, something like that. We're gonna go for the Air 2, if I can get a little bit more DNA, but we keep getting interrupted by these events. Terrorist loose in Japan. Police in Japan are urging citizens to be alert and on the lookout for a dangerous terrorist with possible links to the Children of Eris. This terrorist is thought to be transporting dangerous biological agents. Wait, I thought the corporation was going to be responsible for this one. They'll find a way to tie it in, I have no doubt. Alright, go for Air 2. Styx acquires assets in Central Africa, their first location. And they've acquired some in Greenland, sure, why wouldn't they? And in Central Asia. CEO Alpheus Jackson has stated that the new locations will help create jobs, open up opportunities, and mark a new stage in the growth of the economy. I've heard that before. Alright, my question is, do we want to go for Trojan planes? Like, do I want to get a presence in Greenland as quick as possible to counteract some influence? I have no idea. We're gonna find out. Let's go for Air 3. It's usually pretty gosh dang effective. And we don't really need to get water, because if you have Trojan planes, you can get to all the islands. The terrorist suspect has been detained in Japan. Police in Japan have identified a suspect, Hector Troy, former Styx accountant, who was found with notes on what appears to be an illegal bioweapons research. The suspect has proven to be quite uncooperative, and interrogation is progressing slowly. Wait, the last name is what? Troy? That sounds strangely familiar. I'm sure it's gonna be fine. Alright, let's see. Abilities. I'm gonna go ahead and grab those Trojan planes. Let's grab some resistances, just some basic generic ones, because you never know. Hey, check the news! Hey, Sandy, did you see? They named the disease Loxias after your theory. That's cool, I guess. I don't know, I think it's pretty neat. Does this mean you're gonna be rich and famous now? You have no idea what you're talking about, do you, you fool? Small-minded fool. There are greater forces at work than you could possibly comprehend. Alright, for transmission, I guess we'll go for some eggs. Birds wouldn't be bad, but maybe I want to go for more mutation or corpse feeder. Tempting. I think maybe we'll just go for some symptoms instead. Adrenergic constriction, we'll go for axiolytic infusion, we'll go for psychosis. Start working our way up to becoming worshipped. CDC, super mushrooms, alien terraforming agent. A Harvard study of the mushrooms used in rituals by the Church of the Seven Stars reveals unknown DNA of possible extraterrestrial origin. CDC warns that their spread may have cataclysmic effects on the planet's ecosystem. Is that part of the scenario, or is that new in the base game? I don't know. This doesn't make sense. Hector, a terrorist? This can't be right. There must be another explanation. What's really going on here? I need to get to Japan as soon as I can. Despair mutates. That seems appropriate given the circumstances. Okay, let's go to the Caribbean. We'll grab Adoration. We're very close to getting everyone to be nice suicidal, but we'll leave that alone. I've been going about this all wrong. I've been thinking, what if the Neurax worm didn't control people at all? What if it awakened the mind, opening humans to a higher spiritual reality? Many ancient religions used herbs and mushrooms for this purpose. Is a worm any different? Well, some would say yes, but I'll say no for the sake of argument. Tensions continue to rise in Canada, just in case you forgot. Civil unrest in Canada is growing steadily. Peaceful protests have been turning violent as police attempt to quell the demonstrators. What? No. Sandy, this is Mom. Listen, I know you're busy flying all over the world and uncovering ancient mysteries, but I'd rather you didn't spend so much time in Afghanistan. Check the news. There's a nasty bug going around there. Stay safe. Come home soon. Love you. Methinks you are never going to see Sandy again. Alright, let's go for Devotion. That's getting very close to Transcendence. Perhaps the answer was right in front of us. If a worm can make people calmer and more at peace with themselves, then why look down on those who believe in it? Isn't that the goal that we have been striving for all along? ... Listen, I don't have time for excuses. If you can't promise me a guaranteed vaccine, then I'm firing you and hiring a scientist who can. Don't spit your babble about evolving diseases at me. I'm getting a new project manager. You're out! You're fired, as some people might say. Name and purpose. She's at Customs. Cassandra Troy. I'm here to see Hector, the terrorist. Yes, I am a known affiliate of the terrorist. Listen, you're trying to get him to talk, right? Just let me speak with him. He'll open up to me. He's my brother. I guarantee you that the government already is aware of who you are. Just saying, okay? They're a bit more competent than you might give them credit for. I understand what Loxias is. Once I was blinded by my own hubris to prove the foolishness of the ancients, but I see their truth now. The great god Loxias truly wishes the best for humankind and has given us the worm, his avatar manifest, as a gift to guide us towards the light. Isn't this exactly what Transcendence wants it to be? How do you know you're not being manipulated by the worm right now? I'm just saying that's what the worm would want you to think. What's this? Compulsion. Tweak their host consciousness to perform various actions compulsively. Seems a little infective, but otherwise not a big deal. Alright, so I may not want to go for a lot more infectivity if that is how it's going to work once the bioweapon gets released. But thus far, we're not seeing anything about a bioweapon. Wait, there we go. The impact of Loxias on the economy is causing... Well, people know what Loxias is now? I thought it was just that one person. The whole world is aware? That's not as fun. Alright, well, if that's done, do I want more infectivity or do I leave it as is? I really haven't a freaking clue. Let's just sort of sit back and stash up our DNA. This is going to get interesting. Theoretically manipulate human thoughts. That's already been proven. Thank you. 25% complete with the cure. No islands missing at this point. Okay. Styx continues to fall. Due to the influence of Loxias, Styx biotech stocks have been continuing to fall. If this keeps up, the company may collapse. That is the goal. Go to the Baltic states. We'll infect all of them. Come on. What happens next? Keep the story going? Well, if it isn't Cass. What, you finally decided to stop flying around the world to get your little brother out of trouble? Well, I'm afraid it's not going to cut it this time. Oh, Cass. Always so mature. Lighten up a bit, will you? You're on trial for a freaking terrorism. And suicide mutates. I'm gonna leave that up just because it's funny. It's no use! I tried to get my brother to talk, but he was a pain as usual. He can be so frustrating at times, but I know this much, he's no terrorist. Someone set him up, and I have a feeling I know who it was. Was it Styx? Tensions are even worse in Canada. I got 200 DNA that I'm sitting on right now. ... Mr. Jackson, our operatives in Canada report that everything is moving according to plan. We expect the rebellion will reach the critical point right on schedule. That sounds all well and good, but here's the problem. You're gonna freaking cure me at this point. Unless the cure is the bioweapon. That would be interesting. That would be interesting. But I have no way to prove that. Let's go for the birds. Why not? Feed the birds. We'll go for mutative regeneration. We'll go for corpse feeder. We'll just grab a few things here and there just because. Why not? Sir, I'm sorry to say this, but we're falling behind schedule. You just said we were on schedule. Getting conflicting messages here. Our funding isn't great and many of the researchers have... I understand. We'll try our best to have the apple ready by then. Let me guess. Can I be smart now for a second? The apple of discord that Eris would throw from behind Ares' chariot, causing great strife and war. Styx CEO infected by Loxias. Rumors are spreading that Alpheus Jackson, CEO of Styx Biotech, is carrying a Loxias parasite. Though he claims that the worm is not affecting his ability to manage the company, Styx's stocks are expected to fall sharply as a result. And it has been worshipped to ease the tensions in Canada. Many citizens of Canada are losing interest in the political uprising after Loxias infection. Many praise the worm for showing them the light, and have instead dedicated themselves to spreading its message of peace, brotherhood, and the sharing of headwear. That sounds very unhygienic. Yeah, so is this like supposed to be a whole religion opiate of the masses thing? Because it seems to have worked pretty well. And the rebels immediately despaired in Canada. As Loxias spreads through Canada, the rebellion has been losing steam. Many of its supporters have simply lost the will to fight after being infected by the worm. Obsession mutates. People will collect tiny little worms now. Is there anything that's not been infected? I think everything has been, but I haven't really been paying much attention, to be honest. Let's go to Poland. I hear it's lovely this time of year. Okay, next. The cure's scaring me. I'm afraid I'm going to lose because I'm trying to pay attention to the story. No? Anyone? Just go Greenland. Zarathustra virus studies are promising. Researchers studying the transhuman virus responsible for the narrowly averted Zarathustra disaster report great strides toward understanding the virus. Did we do a thing about Zarathustra a long time ago? Because now I can't remember, but it's ringing some bells. We're killing way too many people. Can we just turn off the suicide for a second? Because this isn't working for me. Let's just stop killing everyone. They're still dying somehow. Confusion mutated. The bioweapon hasn't been unleashed already, has it? I have no idea. Have you seen these numbers? Do you eggheads have worms for brains? If you can't pick up the pace I'm getting, new scientists. And forget about the vaccine. You can join the rest of the bums out there. Let's move it, people. I hope that the cure is supposed to be the bioweapon, because I'm not really doing much of anything to stop it at this point. I'm just kind of waiting for it to happen, because I want to see what happens. I'm curious. Do we lose, or is this what we want it to be? Bioweapon. 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 Start it up. Come on. Come on. 2. You're so close. We might just infect the whole world before it can happen. Although I am noticing that Greenland is having a really hard... Wait, Greenland is uninfecting. Open conflict likely in the near future in Canada. Civil unrest. Well, okay, but... Well, now what am I supposed to do? Wait, what am I supposed to do? Hang on. Hide from scans, compulsion, hydrophobia. I don't see anything about resetting the cure. Memory loss, aneurysm, aphasia, coma, apraxia, no. Frontal mesh, perceptive jolt. Where's the bioweapon? Subject interrogation yields useful information. Hector Troy, the captured terrorist suspect, mentioned obtaining his research papers from a laboratory in Southeast Asia. The government is working out the details on a possible investigation in the future. We're gonna get freaking cured, though! What is Styx up to? Let me think. My brother worked for Styx. I bet Hector discovered something he shouldn't have, so they framed him. Everyone knows that Alpheus Jackson is as corrupt as they come. But what is he planning? I need to look at this from a new angle. Okay, but I think we're gonna lose. We can't investigate yet. We can't just investigate Southeast Asia. Yeah, considering it's a region, not a single nation, based on one man's information. We have to go through the proper channels first. To do otherwise would be needlessly aggressive and risky. We just have to hope something slows down their research in the meantime. I think I was supposed to beat this before the cure killed me. Yep, I was supposed to do that before. Okay, let's retry that for a second. Okay, we're about to finish infecting the world. Before the cure this time. Now what happens? By the way, it's been shifted around. Russia's the one with the rebellions and the documents in Iran. Open conflict likely in the near future in Iran. I'm sorry, in Russia. Yeah, but that should be fine now, right? The world's been infected? Has it been less than a year? Is that what's going on here? Do I just have to sit around and wait for a year? Oh, that would be quite boring. All glory to the Neurax worm indeed. Oh, insanity has set in. Okay. So the entire world's infected. Nothing's happening, though. Well, this is fun, isn't it? Yes. Here we go. Sir, the apple of discord is still incomplete. I knew it was an apple of discord. Told you. If we use it now, I can't guarantee that it'll be strong enough to... Yes, I understand. We'll have it shipped out immediately. Come on! Blow up the world! With the bioweapon! Blow it up! Gentlemen, I called you here today to discuss an important issue that the world has chosen to ignore. The human population is growing too fast and there are not enough resources for everyone. And this is why. Because most people are parasites. That doesn't seem very nice. 90% of the human race are useless layabouts who contribute nothing to society, who live off the hands of hard-working, successful people. And their numbers are growing. There is only one solution, my friends. We must thin the herd. Well, I mean, sure, why not? I mean, ethics aside, makes sense from a logical perspective. Does anyone have any objections to this? No? Good. I can see I chose my associates well. A perfect storm is brewing, gentlemen. A storm that will wipe humanity's slate clean of its parasites, leaving us the inheritors of the new world. I will have you know that the meek shall inherit the earth, and you don't sound very meek. Gentlemen, today we stand on the edge of history. All of you here today are the best of the best. I choose only the best people for my company. Together, when the dust clears, we will build a new society. Let us drink together to a better future. Perceptive jolt! And somebody realized they're about to get murdered. What is Styx up to? Let me think. My brother worked for Styx. I bet Hector discovered something he shouldn't. We talked about this before. Yes. Fighting breaks out in Russia. The government of Russia was forced to step in as rebels mounted an attack on the civilian populace. While the riot was stopped with no fatalities and only a few seriously injured, many worried the conflict is far from over. I'm sorry, I thought that we had a worm easing all of the people in Russia. Is that not happening? Oh, okay. Let's send a new plane. No? Alright, I guess we just wait for the next pop-up. Biological weapon detonated in Russia. A weapon containing an unknown biological agent was detonated in the middle of the riots in Russia. Children of Eris are believed responsible. The CDC responded immediately and quarantined the area, but are concerned that traces of the weapon escaped. Okay, so the biological weapon has been fired off in Russia. Now what do we do? Unknown pathogen detected in Russia. You've encountered an unfamiliar organism in Russia. It resembles a virus, but is far more toxic than any pathogen you've encountered in the past. Until you can build up a resistance to its effects, hosts that it inhabits may prove difficult to take over. I've taken over all of them. I'm not particularly worried about it. Let's just do some antibodies. Level 1, Level 2, Level 3. What's this? Secretion? Fight off other diseases. 1, 2. We can't afford the next one, but we'll get there eventually. Well, that seems easy enough. Okay. Antibody production started. You've begun to build up a resistance to the bioweapon. The more you encounter it, the stronger your resistance will become. A new worrying disease is spreading in Russia. Achilles. It is quite severe and has always caused a number of complications. Okay. So we're continuing to do this. By secreting these antibodies, you can now fight the bioweapon for hosts. Yeah, but I already have complete global dominance. You gave me a whole freaking year. You can develop a powerful countertoxin against the bioweapon and are capable of eradicating it quickly. If humans get a hold of this, they can cure the artificial plague. Have they not already? Vital Achilles data found in Bioweapons Lab. Investigators have found the hidden bioweapon research lab in Iran, formerly Southeast Asia, but now Iran. The lab was abandoned, but the investigators managed to find information on the bioweapon that maybe accelerate their search for a cure. Well, Russia's gonna die, probably, but oh well. Loxias may hold the key to stopping Achilles. A recent study on Loxias has revealed the worm may be a blessing in disguise. In the presence of Achilles particles, Loxias produces antibodies that protect itself and its hosts. Researchers hope the worm can help them find a cure for the bioweapon. Alright, cerebral boar, cerebral meld. Let's work toward antibodies level 3. I am getting DNA as these people die, so it really does sort of suit my purposes, but I'm a little concerned how many are dying so quickly. Sir, we have a problem. The apple proved to be much more effective than we anticipated. 100% lethal. Yes, sir, the vaccine should still be effective. Newsflash, it's not going to be effective. What do you mean it's evolving? Well, stop babbling and tell me. What do you mean the vaccine's not working? You told me it was guaranteed to work. You told me it was a guarantee. Well, make a better one then, because that's how vaccines work. Idiots! Imbeciles! You're fired! You're fired! All of you are fired! Okay, sublime symbiosis. Worms dissolve completely upon maturity, leaving only their white blood cells and neurons behind. Greatly reduces infectivity and severity, and also grants bonus DNA. Okay, 5 DNA. It gave us 5 bonus DNA. That was very generous of you. Thank you. Alright, more people are dying. Italy destroyed by Achilles. It's torn through Italy, wiping out the entire population in a matter of days. Neighboring countries are in a panic, fearing the horrific weapon may already have infected their population. Is this where I'm supposed to start reducing infectivity or something? I have no idea. Hodophobia, nosophobia, hypochondria? I have no idea. What were we supposed to do at this point? I mean, it's not like multiplayer where you see a different color that you're competing with. Maybe North and South America are going to survive. But maybe there's like a hidden like bioweapon like actually trying to get like C-axis. If that's the case though, we already shut down all the ports, so there's nothing you can do. Haha! Sucks to be you. Maybe. I have no idea. I'm actually really curious how they programmed this. Alright, xenophobia. Shut down your borders, please. I mean, you already did, but do it again. Do it again for posterity. Build a bigger wall. Achilles has killed all of its hosts. Proved to be far too deadly for its own survival. After wiping out a huge swath of the human population. Excuse me. It has driven itself to extinction. We win, right? Loxias rules humanity. Humanity survived Achilles only to be taken over by Loxias. Humanity will now enter a dark age as a slave species. Man, we lose no matter what, don't we? Alright, humanity worships the Neurax worm now. How did they program that? I am muchly curious. I mean, that's kind of cool. Like, you have to admit, like, as long and put aside the score. The score doesn't matter. But that was pretty cool. Very creative way to do a scenario. You know, not only do you have a storyline that you're actually trying to follow, and it's pretty well scripted all in all, but you actually managed to script something that causes a ton of lethality and seems to spread to all the neighboring countries. It followed predictable patterns, made sense. It got stuck over here and couldn't use boats to get over to North and South America. That's cool. I want to know how they did that, because that is something that some people may want to consider emulating in the future. Well freaking done, Cassandra, Neurax versus Bioweapon, who created the scenario. Indigo Phoenix, yes. Indigo Phoenix, you did a fantastic job. What a creative idea, and you executed it well. I liked it a lot. Thank you all very much for watching. I do hope that you enjoyed. If so, then be sure to hit that like button, leave a comment, and subscribe, and I will see you guys next time.